I'm Michael O'Giblin with Fiddlershop.com, and this is a tutorial on the 2021 Florida All State Orchestra audition requirements for violin. And this is for the 7th and 8th grade level. If you're looking for the 9th and 10th or 11th and 12th grade material, I have links for that in the description box below. I'm a violinist with the Miami City Ballet Orchestra and also the creator of OrchestraExcerpts.com, but I'd also like to thank the support of Fiddlershop.com in helping to make this video possible. They are your go-to source for instruments, bows, strings, accessories, all that fun stuff. They have some of the highest quality of selection and really unbeatable prices. So go check them out at Fiddlershop.com. So let's get started with the scales, which is probably where you'll start in your audition as well. Now, the scale section is a huge part of your audition. You can tell a lot about a person's playing from listening to their scales, not just for intonation, of course, but also for, posture, fluidity of bow changes, tone production, all these things. So don't gloss over them. I encourage you to really spend some time on the scales and really feel secure about them. The investment that you make in scales will reward you greatly throughout your whole life. Now there are some big scale system books like the Carl Flesch book, or the Galamian book. These are great systems. I have sort of just a very simplified fingering chart that you can download. I call it the scale system for slackers. I, of course, am the chief slacker, so don't take it personally or that it's a knock. It's just a simple way to get you playing and not spend a lot of time searching for the book and all that stuff. So I'll play through a couple of these just to kind of show you what they're looking for. I'm not going to play through all of them. That'd get kind of boring. Basically, we want just a good sort of middle of the bow, some good contact point, could make a nice meaty sound. They say they want the quarter note at between 60 and 80. I would just shoot for 60. Of course, start slower if you need to. And they want you to play separate eighth notes. So it'd be like da da dee da. So let's just start with like C major, right? For some of the higher ones like E flat or F, I still recommend starting in first position, even though for the arpeggios, I think it's easier just to start in position for each of those. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So for E flat, let's say, I'm gonna start still in first position. Whereas when I do the arpeggio, I start in fourth position. And the reason I do that is then you can play all of the arpeggios just by starting with that, using the same fingering pattern for all those arpeggios. So again, just some of the things we're looking for is a good kind of middle of the bow sound, good contact point, not too much pressure, and all those bow changes are a little too harsh. So try to work on just getting a nice You don't have to use vibrato on these. It also doesn't really matter if you repeat the top note or just play it one time and come down. Or also if you have a good system like the Galamian system where you go. That's a little bit more for the 3-octave scales, but if you have a good system, by all means use that. The finger pattern that I have here is just a suggestion. It's one option. There's lots of different options for fingerings. That's really not the point of why they're asking for you. So check all those out. Make sure you play them all, have them all memorized, and you'll be good to go. For all of the arpeggios, I use just a very simple fingering pattern so that you don't have to shift at all, but that does mean that you have to get into position. So for F major, of course, you have to start position. So that's a little bit difficult, but the idea is you can play. You can play all of your 2-octave arpeggios using the same fingering pattern. So I think it's kind of clever. I don't know, maybe you disagree. So now that's about all I have to say for arpeggios, for scales and arpeggios. Really good intonation is hugely important. Do spend some time there. For the sight reading section, I've got actually a video that I made a couple years ago with some advice on how to prepare for the sight reading audition. So I'm gonna show that one next. And if you have any questions, contact me using the comments below. All right, thanks so much.
Ba-da-ba-ba, Fiddlershop.